cooking our way through the Moon Cycles cookbook and learning more about cycle syncing. So this week we're on the follicular phase. I did not want a repeat of last week when I ordered my groceries halfway through the week and then was cooking at like 9 p.m. at night. So last night I decided to go through the cookbook and at least pick out the recipes that I wanted to make and place my grocery order and clean out my refrigerator, put all of my groceries away. And it felt so good to wake up today knowing that I was prepared for the week in that way. So I definitely want to start prioritizing doing that on Sundays. I also picked out a lot of snacks and desserts, not a lot, but a few snacks and desserts to make. And I thought it would be a lot better if I made them at the start of the week so we could enjoy them throughout the week. And I'm really excited about the ones I found. I didn't do my reading though for it. So we're gonna sit down and do the reading, see what we learn, and then get to cooking. I also made my Earl Grey tea. I've been loving Earl Grey tea lately. It smells so good. We're gonna drink our tea, read our book, and that just feels like a very nice afternoon. We have all of our supplies for learning. We have the journal, the cookbook, and the computer. I did take my notes in Notion last time, and I'm gonna keep doing that, but I am building out a different way of taking notes. I just need to finalize that before I completely share it. And I've decided I will likely be doing my reading and learning from the kitchen table. I'm just gonna say that I'm doing that until after Christmas because when I was looking at the calendar, I'm going to Hawaii, New York, and Palm Springs between now and the end of the year. So if I get my office completely ready to be working in on that list, I feel like I would look at it every week and be like, oh my God, I failed again. I just need to take it off the list for a little bit. So I don't feel like that because I have a perfectly good table right here. And who knows, I might get the office done before that, but definitely not this week because we leave for Hawaii on Saturday and I have a very busy week of both work and also so many appointments. I don't know why I chose to book all of those the week before I was going on vacation. But that is what I did. So now let us dive in to the follicular phase. It says, welcome to your creative bloom. So pretty. And then I'll share the different recipes that I'm gonna make. Okay, that was fun. I did learn a lot. I'm also still reading the Wild Power book that I want to incorporate into what I'm learning here because that's more about the mind-spirit connection of the period. It does touch on that too, but this is definitely a lot more about like body and health. So be looking for that eventually once I get farther into that book. What I learned for the follicular phase now is that you really need to focus on detoxing your liver and making sure that you have a healthy gut microbiome. And this chapter, the way they did the book, it's mainly focused on the gut microbiome, and then during the ovulation phase, they'll focus on the liver. I did already know some of the things in there about making a healthier gut microbiome, like the need for probiotics and prebiotics and eating fermented foods and sprouted foods. One thing I think is interesting though is I do believe based on the current, and I'm not a doctor, I'm just sharing things I've learned, but when I was talking to my naturopath, based on where your current gut health is really dependent on if you should have a heavy focus on fermented foods and prebiotics. We had decided that for me, I was actually not going to focus on consuming any supplements while I was doing other things. But I did find it really interesting that the main thing we should be focusing on, and if there is an imbalance of estrogen, like too much, your body's not detoxing it, that's when you're going to have the bad PMS symptoms or other hormonal issues like PCOS. And in traditional Chinese medicine, the follicular phase correlates to spring, and so it's a time to start planting the seeds of new beginnings. One of the self-care ideas it gave that I liked was this was a really great time to write down your dreams and your ideas and what you want to do and start to see if there's a theme for what they are. And I do feel like that is in line with where I'm feeling like I'm at right now this month. What else? Ooh, and it was a good time to try physically challenging things. So if you're gonna try a new workout or a new way to move your body, this is the best time to do it. I don't know if best is the right word. I'm curious if ovulation phase is good for that too. I think we all know that it's definitely not the menstrual or the luteal phase though. And then I was also mentioning how important it is to limit the endocrine disruptors, which I have tried to do around here. Like I've known for a while, you know, we don't want plastics in the house and to swap them out with glass, which I've done for most things. And then also making sure our cosmetics and everything, checking the toxicity levels there, which is something that I struggle with because I love things that smell good. And I know fragrances can tend to be a hormone disruptor. So that is something that's sad to me and that I am currently thinking about what I want to do for, or maybe that I would want to research a little bit more and see what I land on, like feeling good for me, like what would be a healthy balance for that. Like one thing that I've started doing is I don't buy laundry detergent that has a scent in it anymore. And if you do get the book, they do list all of the different foods that are examples, but I don't want to go too far in depth. And for the exciting part, what we're gonna make this week. There were a lot of things that looked really good in here, but not the main dishes as much for me this week because there were quite a few that had beef or beans or just something that I know that I don't digest well. So we are doing more breakfast, snacks, and desserts, like I mentioned, and then I did pick one dinner menu item out. So I want to make buckwheat almond banana muffins, but I need ripe bananas, and my bananas aren't ripe yet. So if I can make those, it will be in a few days. And I'm going to try this breakfast bowl that sounds really good. It's a millet breakfast bowl with lemon garlic tahini sauce, and I have been wanting to add tahini into my diet more because I just know it's a healthier sauce that is really versatile. So I bought that. I'm excited to try my first tahini sauce, and I've never cooked with millet before. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So I got that. One thing that's been really exciting about kind of trying to work my way through a cookbook, which is something that I've always wanted to do because I feel like on social media before I've seen people being like cooking my way through Julia Child's cookbook, which I think sounds so fun. So maybe I'll just pick different cookbooks and keep working my way through them. It's making me try things that I would have never tried before if I just went on a food blog or Instagram to find a recipe. And I think that's really fun because once you make something for the first time, it feels so much easier every time after that. So this has been a good experience in getting out of my comfort zone and trying and learning new things. I also love learning, obviously, so that has been fun. So anyway, I'm really excited to try millet, and then I'm going to top it with eggs and avocado, so it'll kind of be like a classic breakfast bowl, just using a few ingredients that I've never done before. Honestly, all of these breakfast ones look so good. It was really hard for me to pick. Like there's a quiche that uses apples as the base instead of a pie crust, and I wanted to make that, but then, I don't know, I got a little bit nervous about that. So I put that on my optional for fun one. I didn't want that to be like a Pinterest fail, if you will. And vanilla chai overnight oats, that one is also on my optional list because I picked too many breakfast ones, but I love chai, I love vanilla, and I thought that sounded really delicious. So maybe I'll have time for it. And then how pretty does this look? I'm gonna do this one, cinnamon pear almond butter parfait with toasted pumpkin seeds. So this one was really just like a yogurt breakfast bowl, but with some like simmered, stewed, what's the word you would use there? Pears, poached. I don't know. I just like kind of lost my train of thought. I might also eat this one as a snack or even dessert, honestly. Sounds really good. These were all the ones I can't do, so we're not making those. They all looked good. I am going to see a gastroenterologist. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I am going to see a doctor to do more tests like outside of my naturopath. My main doctor gave me a recommendation for a specialist, so I'm going to see them too because I really miss being able to eat everything. But that's why we're doing all of this. Okay, this is my dinner choice. Baked salmon cakes with lemon dill aioli. I am like smiling so big because Growing up, I have very vivid memories of making salmon patties in the kitchen with my grandma. It was like one thing that she always made, and I've never made them myself. It's really never been on my list. I don't love like a salmon fillet, but I did love salmon patties growing up. I think when it has the other ingredients mixed in and maybe like the texture of the patty is just a little bit different, it was making me feel so nostalgic, and I was like, we have to make this. Tyler's also unsure if he likes salmon. Like, we both think we kind of don't, so I know it's kind of an odd choice for us, but I think we're gonna love the salmon patty. So I'm gonna make that tonight for dinner, unless it gets too late, and then I'll do leftovers in that tomorrow, but I think we're doing that tonight. And then, there were so many good things in this one. I'm gonna make the oatmeal peanut butter chocolate chunk bites. I have been saying I wanna make some form of like an energy ball or like a little snack ball for a while now, so like definitely gonna try those. The base is a bunch of nuts, so that was interesting to me. And I now own a ton of nuts. I don't know if I'm gonna get through all of this. Now that I'm reading this out loud to you, it sounds like I'm being very overly ambitious. But we have salt and pepper sprouted almond crackers. This literally has 5 ingredients, one of those being salt and one being pepper, so like 3 ingredients. And I've never tried to make homemade crackers before, so we're gonna try to make homemade crackers, because if it's only that many ingredients, then surely I can do it. I just don't know how good they'll taste, but we're gonna see. This one I can't wait for. Cranberry walnut yogurt cookies. That sounds so good. And a honey cinnamon latte. I'm gonna do that too. So that is what is on the menu this week, and we're gonna start making, I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna go pick one. We're gonna start making something now. This is one of my favorite things I've made from the cookbook. They're really good. This will be a really nice sweet treat after dinner, or I would definitely eat this before or after the gym too. You can taste the dates. The nuts are good, but I wouldn't say it's overpowering. I think the dates really balance it out nicely. I don't know, it's really good, and it's not overly chocolatey. I didn't know if I should cut back on the chocolate I added, but I didn't. I did what was in the recipe, and it's still really good. And they're like soft and gooey right now, so they're really doughy, but I think, yeah, I have to put them in the refrigerator now. So I'm curious how they'll taste straight from the refrigerator, like if I'll want it to thaw out a little bit or not. It's kind of giving like healthier cookie dough. Aren't they so cute too, my little balls? Whoops. Okay, that's good. It's called an aioli, so in my brain that means mayo and like creamier, but I guess it does not have to mean that. It's very lemony. I'm debating adding a little bit of Greek yogurt or mayo to make like a creamier one, but I don't know, maybe it will be better as a more liquidy version of it. We're gonna try it with this tonight, and then for leftovers, maybe I'll make it creamier. Or, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Moving on. I'm confused because on the ingredient list it says that the salmon has the liquid reserved, and then on the instructions it says combine the salmon and its liquid. I feel like I should reserve the liquid, and then if they seem too wet, put it in. I'm so confused. This is the only time that I like online recipes more, because you know there'd be someone in that comment section calling us out. Quinoa's done. I decided to Google the other salmon cake recipes, and most of them that I saw have you draining the liquid, but they have you adding mayonnaise or some form of a wetter substance. So I think I might drain the liquid and add a tablespoon or two of mayonnaise. I feel like with the liquid it would be like really fishy, and I'm already nervous that I don't want the salmon taste. Clearly didn't drain that well. To work really late tonight, so we can eat dinner together. I'm honestly really nervous to try this because, like I have mentioned, I don't love salmon, but I'm nostalgic for the salmon patty. I think it will have enough other flavors that it's not giving salmon. It is masked. I could definitely eat this. Plus, if you make the one from the cookbook, I do think it either needs the liquid or more mayo. I'll definitely do 2 tablespoons next time, or research more if I should add the liquid, because it is slightly dry, not terrible, but I feel like it had a lot of cornmeal and almond flour in it, so it does need something to balance that out. And I forgot to read why it was good. Salmon is a rich source of the omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. They help reduce inflammation, promote heart and brain health, and are essential for fetal development during pregnancy. Cornmeal, garlic, and onion have prebiotics. So I didn't really know that about the prebiotics for those. I guess prebiotics are in a lot of things. And then for the oatmeal peanut butter chocolate chunk bites I made earlier, oats are a good source of fiber, and that helps lower cholesterol, boost the immune system, and regulate blood sugar. And then I did not do this, but if you want the extra gut benefit, you could use sprouted nuts. I didn't really see sprouted nuts at Whole Foods for the types of nuts I was using. I think the only nuts I got that were sprouted were pumpkin. And in here they do go over how to make your own sprouted nuts. That was just something I was not interested in trying this week. I do want to make my own nut milk. I've been debating getting that. Oh my god, what's it called? The almond cow? I can't think of it, but the gadget that makes really good homemade nut milks. In my journal, I'm keeping a list of things that I want to learn and things that I want to try, and that's on the things that I want to try. Anyway, my food's getting cold. I'm talking too much. There's some weird noises going on in here. I just had to show how I have no personal space ever. Anyway, back to eating. Today is the day we're making the breakfast bowls, which I'm really excited about because I get to cook with Swiss chard for the first time and millet. And it says that millet has B vitamins, iron, and zinc, which we've learned from the book are all very important. And I'm always deficient in vitamin B, so that's very cool that this grain has that. Also got my eyebrows done today, and I feel like they look really dark right now because they still have the powder on them. So if you were thinking that, which you probably weren't, but if you were, that is the reason why they're so dark. Let's cook. This is also going to be a lunch bowl instead of a breakfast bowl because it is quite late and I'm starving. So let's get started. It's not very good. That's really good. I like the sauce a lot. I like the Swiss chard. It kind of just reminds me of like a steamed kale. And the reason that they're having you saute vegetables this week is because it's easier to digest them. And I do find that to be very true for me because I used to eat salad all of the time. Not all of the time, just for lunch a bit. I always felt so bloated and not great after. And I've now learned that for the most part, I just need to eat my greens cooked. So I like that they did that in this recipe. And I like the millet. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a little bit creamier than a normal grain. Hopefully I didn't just cook it wrong. I think it's supposed to be like that because on the back there's a recipe to make millet mashed potatoes, combining millet and cauliflower rice. That'd be interesting to try. And I am proud of myself for cutting the sweet potato because I always avoid cutting sweet potatoes, but I bought diced ones and they went bad before the expiration date. So I had to cut my own. Luckily I had a sweet potato in my pantry and it wasn't that bad. I definitely now know I can do that moving forward. And the tahini sauce is really good. I feel like I'm going to keep that as a staple because when I'm making bowls, I never know what sauce to do because I don't eat spicy foods as much anymore, and that took away the sriracha or the Frank's hot sauce that I would put on everything. And I feel like this tahini sauce would be a really great new option. I'll definitely be remaking this, and I think it'd be so easy to just swap out the grain, the green, or even the sweet potato and make this your own. It seems like it's going to be really filling. It reminds me of this bowl that I would get at a place in Newport called Parakeet. Like this seems very similar to that. Now I can make it myself at home. I had to see if there were any benefits that I missed, and Swiss chard has a lot of nutrients including magnesium, iron, and zinc. So those dip during the menstrual phase. So now we can add them back in with this. And avocados have prebiotics. They also help our bodies transition into the ovulation phase by promoting cervical mucus production. I did not know that. I learned a lot of new things in that little paragraph. And now I'm going to enjoy the rest of my meal before it gets cold. It is very cold out tonight and we want something cozy for dinner. I'm gonna do one of my favorite easy meals. I put slow cooker chicken. I put chicken in the slow cooker earlier today, so we're gonna shred that. And I have water going for jammy eggs, and then I'm gonna make a homemade ramen broth on the stovetop. I use this 15-minute spicy ramen recipe kind of as the base guideline, so I can put that in the description. And let's get to cooking. Whoops, I don't know about that. Here's everything to build your ramen bowl with, plus the mushrooms. Hello. Yes. You want breakfast? cornstarch, but it says 2 tablespoons, so we're going with it. Okay, there's no picture in the book of what these are supposed to look like, and I feel like they don't look done, but I hate cookies that are overdone, so I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like they should be flat, but they were also using different ingredients than a normal cookie, so maybe that is the look of this cookie. So I only cooked half of the cookies because I didn't know what to do. Like, this is what it looks like on the inside. I don't think I'd want to cook them more. I feel like they would get really overdone. I don't know. I don't make cookies a lot. They taste pretty good. They just like kind of look weird. I'm liking the cranberry a lot though. I definitely cooked these longer because I thought they weren't done. So I think I might try the next batch, maybe tomorrow, and bake them for only, I think 10 minutes was the least amount of time, and see how they taste. Now that I know that they're just gonna like look like this. Now that I've had time to reflect, I feel like it's almost giving like scone vibes because it is on the drier side. And then, I'm not sure. I would need to play around with this before I recommended recreating it. But I keep eating it. It's just not what I was expecting. I think that is the issue. If there was a photo and the photo looked like those little drier mounds, I would be like, yes, it tastes lovely. I was thinking like a flat cookie, soft, chewy, and that is not what that is. And I don't know if I'm eating it because I like it or because I'm just liking the cranberry and walnut combo. That is a really good combo though. I might make the honey, cinnamon, vanilla, something or other latte in there and read my book. It said that that was good for calming you down and regulating your system. And that sounds very nice with my book. It's like a cozy, rainy night here right now, so I feel like curling up with a book and a warm beverage would be perfect. This is delicious, and I think it is definitely making up for my interesting cookie experience. There's like a little bit of ground ginger in it. I feel like it's giving the perfect amount of spice. And now we're gonna read Heart the Lover for my book club. This is the book I'm reading this month, and I'm on part 2, and it's only like 20 pages. So I don't think it's gonna take me very long, and I'm really loving this book, so I'm a little bit disappointed that this week's reading is only like 20 pages. But we shall see if I like it as much as I liked part 1.